Hey, my more brothers, back again. In for a quick one. On my Black Pill Gnostic page, I actually talked about the twin killers of black relationships and black marriage, which is criticism and contempt, basically sign language and low-level contempt and hatred that black women have had for their men since, hell, slavery, pretty much. We've been trying to make heads or tails of it, or try to excuse it over the past 150 years because of our so-called lack of ability to actually protect our women. Now, they were never brought over here to be our women. We're both raised in slavery. We actually mated like animals. And then after Reconstruction, forced together to pair bond. And we've tried to make this forced experiment work for 150 years. And it's always been a dance of convenience. In fact, a friend of mine, he's very large in the pro-black community, calls the black family a survival unit. And for the most part, that's what it was. It creaked along, but the thing is, it was patched together to survive. If you look at our walking divorces, if you look at our single mother rate, if you look at our ability to go from one family to the next and be stepfathers, black men are probably the best stepfathers on the planet because we're actually socialized in this environment, in this culture, to be stepfathers because black men left, they were chased off, they were killed, they died early. The average age span of a black man up until I think it was 1930, 1940 was 31 years old. So a lot of black men died when children were still small. So a woman would have to replace that man with another man, younger or older. And sometimes that man would have to have two families. So black men had to be stepfathers, had to learn how to be stepfathers, had to learn how to take care of children and love children that weren't theirs. That's how come black women are so upset that black men refuse to do what they used to do a long time ago. That tradition is starting to crack and wane. And the biggest reason is because in this environment, it's probably unnecessary. We don't need the same kind of structures that we did even 30, 40 years ago. The last group of men, which is I'm a boomer, that actually stepped up in the old-fashioned way to be stepfathers and rescue children and women from the street, for the most part, were the boomers. And we caught a lot of hell and a lot of disrespect for that. So we told our boys, our children, hey, don't do this. Don't follow in this path. In fact, I was looking at a video where a man was telling this woman that the people that told him not to get engaged with a single mother were the women in his family. And for the most part, I've heard the same thing. Because the old folks, the boomer women and some others are probably on some different shit. But the old folks, especially the Southern folks, tell us, hey, be careful of a ready-made family. Be careful of taking a woman with children. Find a women that don't have children. Now, my son didn't follow in those footsteps. Regardless of what he's done, all his women and his wife were, they weren't virgins, but they weren't single mothers either, didn't have kids. So he didn't fall into the same trap that some of us did, some of us boomers did. And I don't blame him. Why should you? But that being said, I want to get to the main meat of what I want to talk about the criticism, disrespect, and contempt that our black women shower on us and how it's manifesting in the younger generation now. What do you think the SYSBM is where boys, especially Zs and younger millennials, are dating out? They're now dating black women. Where now that COVID has opened up the world to remote work, you have younger men, or men of all ages really, but younger men doing what? Getting on planes, going to different cultures, finding different environments, different cultures, different societies, and different women. Why is that? Why do you think all of this is happening? Why do you think that all of a sudden black men have been loyal to this survival unit for the past 150 years are no longer loyal to it? Because, like I said, it's unnecessary. You're allowed to mix and rotate because the de facto environment in the United States now is what? Admixture. You're free to date, mate, and be with whoever will take you. And since black men are more, I'm going to say it, you're not going to like it, more subservient, more egalitarian, more giving to their women, because we've been taught that way. We've been taught to serve our women. We've been taught not to be too demanding of our women. We've been taught that we take women of all shapes, colors, body sizes, and sometimes even attitudes. So an aggressive woman in another culture is mild in our culture. And black men are seeing that. They're seeing that. They say, wait a minute, these other women are catering to me. They're following my lead. I don't have to fight her for control. Now, I played a clip in 1970s where a black woman said, you're going to have to forcefully take control from us. We're not going to give you anything. We lead this culture, we lead this family, and we're not going to just come and give it to you. You got to take it from us. The old saying, you got to take my gun out of my cold dead hand. Basically, it's not quite the same for women, but it's fairly close, man. They're going to fight you tooth and nail for control, and they have, and they still do. And even when you leave, they're trying to get you back because they say you don't control your own destiny. You belong to us. We own you. How dare you? How dare those women take you because you don't belong to them? So can you blame black men, especially black men that have awakened, as Dr. Johnson said, the black masculine's turn? I call it the black man spring. I think this is going to be the black male spring, right? Remember the Arab Spring, the Arab awakening back in 2011? When the Arab world, the Muslim world said, hey, this old authoritarian regime that we had to put up with for hundreds of years, hey, we're going to throw all that off. Or we're going to protest this. We're going to make ourselves heard. I think you've seen that with black men. I think you'll have to see a black male spring. You've had a black male winter for 2 years, 2020, 2022. You've had a black male winter. So now I think you're going to have a black male spring. You have a spring awakening where black men are going to look at this whole world, not just women, but the whole world with new eyes. They're going to make different choices. And I don't think black men are going to take the same kind of negativity, criticism, and contempt and disrespect that they have for, 150 years. They're not going to do it anymore. And black women, if you find guys that will still willing to accept you, who you are and what you've been, and the mouth that you had and the contempt that you carry for them, God bless them. God bless them. My Gnostic pastor told me a long time ago, man, it's got to be nigh under 30 years. If you keep thinking the way you've been thinking, you're going to keep getting what you've been getting. And this is my message to all the communitarians, the pro-blacks, the nationalists, the Pan-Africanists, whatever that are in that camp. The way that you have been doing things, the way that you have been thinking has not worked. Hasn't worked in 150 years. Your families are not shattering because of what black men are doing. They're shattering is because that old model of black family no longer serves the environment. Your women don't want that. Go back and look at Fences, the 1950s. That was the 1950s marriage in a nutshell. Go back and look at it in a nutshell. He had a role, he had a job, he had a position, she did too. No matter whether they liked each other or not, it worked because they knew their positions. Your women don't want their role anymore. They want to be pseudo-white women. When I say pseudo, they think that they're white women, but the thing is they have black women's attitudes. Okay, if you want to be a white woman and have the same independence that a white woman has, the same liberal independence a white woman has, you're going to have to adopt some of her ways and her mores and the way she talks to her men. White women do not talk to their men like that. They do not. White women serve their men. They do. White women, much as you would hate to admit it, are submissive to their men. That's like their white men walk with a chip on their shoulder. They expect certain things. And when black women go over there to white men, either one or two things. Either they get on the program, the few that do, that's like there's only a few that get married to those white men, or they get bounced. They'll pump a baby in her and send her back to the community. Same thing with Latinos. It's like when we have so many mixed kids in our community with their baby mamas that they blame on black men. You know goddamn well you look at that baby is not black. That baby does not come from a black man. And first thing you're going to do, you're not going to blame the white baby daddy or the Latino baby daddy. You're going to actually blame all this on black men because that black man won't swoop in and take care of you. He won't swoop in and marry you with that redhead stepchild because granny got it, great granny got it, granny got it, and mama got it. How come I can't get it? Because that TV don't play no more. That show ain't on no more. That show got canceled. All them fall shows, the winter and fall shows that played on regular TV and Netflix and HBO, all them shows are canceled. We had a new phase coming in, and that's what you're seeing. This is something that women don't understand. And instead of them adapting and changing their language and learning how to at least try to be nice, at least try to be serving, try to be cooperative, what do? What do you see on TikTok when it comes to passport bros and SYSBM? They double down on stupid. They come up with the same kind of sign language, which is criticism, and the same kind of contempt. The exact same thing. But that's supposed to get black men back in line and come back to the plantation. Maybe they're right. Maybe the Winter Soldier chip that's in black men's minds will click in and they'll come back. They'll come back and they say ready to comply. Maybe they will. I don't know. I'm waiting to see. Because there's sure a lot of other dudes that, I call them Winter Soldiers, Winter Soldier simps with their blue pills in their mouth, ready to attack black men for doing the same thing. Or you ain't a man if you go overseas and find a more conducive environment. You can't find one of these contemptuous sign language using black women in America. You can't dig through the trash and find something that you like. I hear that all the time. Can't find one? Why should he? Why should he? I think you should. Why should he? Life is too hard as it is. It always has been too hard as it is for black people, especially black men. Black men have never had an easy time in this country. Still to this day. And like the man said, now we have to have a revolution and fight our own women because they've nested in white supremacy. But the thing is, now that the sheet got pulled, oh, you was on their side all along. Okay, you were never on my side. You're my competitor. But now it's being revealed that you were never my teammate. You're on an opposite team just like everybody else. And now it's being exposed. But as soon as we say, you know what, we're going to a different league. No, you can't go to a different league. You got to stay here and play. No, we don't. We can go to a different casino. We can cash in our chips and go someplace else. You do it. Oh, but the thing is, the best game on the planet is right here where you're at, because you get way more advantages, and you can be yourself, but your criticism and your contempt, because you have socialized black men to accept it. And what happens when they find an alternative? Hey, wait a minute. She's actually nice to me. She actually listens to me. She actually kind of agrees with with the pathway that I'm going. She's actually helping me instead of competing with me. Instead of trying to prove how much better she is than I am, she's trying to make me better. I don't know how to feel about that, because I'm used to being told I ain't shit. I'm used to being told that I'm not lovable. I'm used to being told that nobody wants me. Sounds like an abusive husband, doesn't it? But for black men, that's just Tuesday. Might even be Wednesday. It's definitely not Friday. But I just wanted to drop that, man. That's the reason that these brothers are bouncing. I don't blame them. Why should they put up with insufferable women when there's only 20 million of them, 22 million of them, right? There's 3.5 billion women on the planet. Trade them in and get a new group, man. You got 100 million, 70 million Latinas basically on the border in Mexico. Hell, you got 100 million Brazilians, okay, that are female. Much less the almost billion women on the continent of Africa. Trade them in. Get a new group. I've been saying that for years. We should do a swap. Just import. Go to the continent. Hey, you want to come to America? We're importing women. Hell, we even take the If we're gonna take baby mamas, let's go get the baby mamas that the Chinese left when they bounced. Let's get them. Gonna bring in baby mamas, might as well bring them in too. Fuck it. At least they'll be more appreciative. Better than the baby mamas we got here. They want you to raise their kids and spend money on their kids and you get nothing. Hell, they don't even have sex with you half the time. Anyhow, with that, we'll jump off here. This is BJ Side. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.